live on IG. Yeah, we're gonna get IG going. He is up. Yeah, we locked and loaded. Wagwan. This is the Sports Time Zone. Yours truly, brother Noomsi, playoff Noomsi in this thing, backed up by my DJ and producer.
The beat in the building was good.
Was good. Y'all know what time it is. Hey, shout out to my man TZ Dave. Shout out to Yanni Ma, Fairy Plug Mother. Shout out to everybody, all of our viewers that's watching live, and those of y'all that's gonna watch on the repeat. Y'all know what this is. This is Thursday night out of bounds. To the beat. You know what we do on Thursdays, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all out there that's watching, y'all know how we do on Thursdays. We are the only sports podcast that's bringing you 3 different eras of sports takes. And not only that, we the only sports podcast that brings you out of bounds. So if you're not just looking for sports, if you're looking for everything that's going on, then Out of Bounds is where you need to be. And we get down like this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. Sports Time Zone. And Q Beat, it's going to be a good one today, boy. Tell them what they got to do before we even get started, Q.
Hit that like, share, subscribe button, please. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Also follow us on IG at SportsTime_Zone. SportsTime_Zone.
Let's get it. Yeah, Q the beat. Let's get more mic levels. A little more mic level on your side, but we sounding good. Also, follow us on SportsTime_Zone. If y'all want to catch us on IG, that's where you need to be. Shout out to KE Creations. Shout out to 7 Figure Society. Shout out to who else we got? Yo, shout out to Tiff's Treats. If y'all are looking for any type of pastries and all that, shout out to Top to Bottom Detailers. Shout out to 7 Figure Marketing Agency and Billionaire Society LLC. Let's get this thing going, man. We got a dope show on our Out of Bounds basis. So we got a couple of topics that we're gonna get into in case y'all haven't been here before, but I am playoff Noomsi. It's the playoffs right now. So in the playoffs, say you gotta drop 30, 35. You gotta elevate your gameplay. So without further ado, let's get it going, man. A lot going on in the news, Q. First thing, I know you watched that game between the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks, that closeout game where Tyrese Halliburton hit the buzzer beater at that. First of all, how did you enjoy the game? What was the game? You know, it's a sports podcast too. Let's talk a little bit about that game. How was you feeling that game?
Great game. You know, I finally, I think the Pacers finally feel like, man, we finally got them boys. You know what I mean? To try to get over that hump, because the Bucks have been stopping their ass, since day one. But
yeah.
They feel good about that.
It looked like when Dame Lillard went down, Giannis had to carry them boys. He had to hold a fort down by himself.
Yeah.
And like I was telling y'all, Giannis don't have a jump shot. So Giannis don't have like a safety valve. All Giannis has is attack. So when he gets fatigued, he doesn't have a jump shot to rely on. And then he becomes slower on defense. Because look at that. The Giannis that we know would have sent that off of the backboard. But he was a step slow because he didn't have the energy that he normally has at the end of the games. So with Giannis having to carry so much of the load and not having a J, if he at least had a J, I think that would change his game a lot.
Absolutely.
So
you don't have to drive in so much. You can save their energy, shoot more jump shots.
Right.
Now they coming out there to you. Now all you gotta do is pump fake. Now you can drive to the goal. It'll be easier because they way locked up now.
That's exactly my point. But nonetheless, good game. Giannis did what he could, but Indiana Pacers turned out winning that game, and then winning that game, they sent Milwaukee home. They eliminated Milwaukee from the playoffs. After the game, hold on. Can you take that back a little bit? Let's take another look at that game winner. So this is how the game ended, ladies and gentlemen. For those of y'all who didn't see the game, Tyrese Halliburton took the ball straight to the rack and scored on Giannis, and that basically was the difference in the game. That was the final and overtime. After the game, Tyrese Halliburton's pops comes from out of the stands onto the court to go and confront Giannis. Now, for what reason is beyond me, but he goes up to the center court and then start like, yeah, this what we do. This what we. You was just sitting in the stands, pops. This ain't what you do. This is what your son does, but not you. So as I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, yo, this is foul. My man come out of the stands onto the court just so he can confront the opposing. So he's taking the spotlight away from his son and his son's accomplishment so that he can make it about him and have a beef with a superstar. Q, what did you make of that? That was just crazy.
Living in the spotlight of his son. He thought he was him on the court
for a minute. But okay, let's say you watching your son hit a game winner in the playoffs. Could you really say how you would react to it? Like, just trying to play devil's advocate, looking on the other, like if that was us and our kid just hit that, do we have this uncontrollable urge to run to the court and get up in Giannis's face? Like, for me, nah, yo. Like, I don't know. I can't say for sure because my son is not in the NBA. So, and I've never been in a position that Tyrese Halliburton's pops is in that level. Like, I've seen my son accomplish a lot of great things, and but nothing to the extent that makes me want to run in the middle of what he's doing and go and like slap the shit out of somebody else.
Let's look at this though. Let's take a look at it though.
Let's take another look. For those of y'all who didn't see this, Giannis ends up walking up to him, confronting him, and telling him, like, listen, if I'm Giannis, I'm like, look, I'm a finals MVP. Your son ain't did nothing yet. Be humble, have some humility, like win with honor. Like, I respect your son for what he did, but he ain't did nothing yet.
Yeah. And then Giannis handled it like C, because he ain't even tripped. He just told that, hey man, be humble about your victory. Be respectful. I respect you. I respect your son. Be respectful. And then
he's like, I respect your son. I love you.
I got you, man.
That right there, that made me earn a different level of respect for Giannis though now. Yeah. Because it's a lot of superstars, number one, that don't stay after they just got eliminated. I ain't gonna say no names, LeBron, but after some quote unquote superstars lose, they just take their purse and walk off. They don't sit there and dap up anybody. Giannis stood there and dapped up Indiana's entire team. Did you see it, Q? He went one by one and dapped everybody up. Maybe not in this clip, but when I watched it, he dapped up everybody on for the Pacers. Most superstars don't do that. Well, I ain't gonna say most. I'm just gonna say we know who
some.
And we know who they are, the ones who don't. But yeah, there's got to be a different level of respect, in my opinion, that Tyrese Halliburton's pops should have had for Giannis. Now I understand he's banned from games. Is that right, Q? Like, he's banned now?
Definitely. So I guess that means what?
That means that means you're going to be watching the games from the bar down the street now. Or you're watching it from the crib in your high rise in Indianapolis, wherever Tyrese done put you up at. But then you won't be coming to no more games.
That's crazy. So will they lift that if his son win a championship?
If what? I think it's out of his son's hands at this point.
Man, that's crazy.
That probably came from Giannis, and Giannis is one of the league's superstars. So Giannis make a call to the front office and like, yo, this dude came all the way up to the court. What are we doing here? We got just people coming from the stands to confront me. I'm a superstar. What if this guy had a weapon? What if this guy came to do something? What if he was mentally unstable? He should have never been able to get that close to Giannis, first of all.
Well, he didn't have a weapon. He went through the metal detector. Of course, he didn't have a weapon.
Right. But let's say if Giannis had a bodyguard or something, and that bodyguard just came and Undertaker chokeslam Tyrese Halliburton's pops.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been wrong.
Right. Uppercut him.
Because you came up to him, I know in that clip you saw Giannis walking up to him, but initially Tyrese Halliburton's pops is the one who came towards Giannis, and by him doing that. So first of all,
and for some reason I can't. They removed it.
Yeah, but why are you coming onto the court after your son? If y'all in the comments, let us know how y'all feel about this. If you are the parent of somebody who's in the sports and they do something, they just won a championship, and the person that they just beat is standing on the court just looking miserable, do you come down there and rub it into his face like, yeah, this what me and my son just did to you? Yeah, this what you a parent. You're not a competitor. How do y'all feel in the comments? Let us know. Drop a line, even if y'all watching on the playback. But that was crazy to me, Q. I don't think I've ever seen nothing like that. I mean, remember we saw last year Flage's brother came off of the bench and took a swing at Cardoso, and Cardoso basically leveled him. Like,
they gonna start having like little guardrails.
They need that. There's no way a fan should be able to get that close to a player, and I get it. I understand. It's not like they got weapons, because they got metal detectors to make sure they ain't bringing weapons to the game. But if we're trying to make this game safe, you got to keep the fans, because that could have easily turned into another Malice in the Palace.
Yeah.
If Giannis was on that type of time, let's say if Giannis was on that type of time,
man, it could have been ugly.
It could have got real ugly, and Giannis could have been like, you know what? I'm willing to take a 50-game suspension just to slap the blood clot out of this pussy. I can see y'all, and it's not like he ain't got the bread to do it. He can afford to miss 20 games. Because what is that at the worst? He get what's a civil lawsuit, and if he actually does strike his Halliburton's dad, 20 games, 25 games, maybe.
I think the parents need to start, stay out that, out that type of shit.
I agree. Parents,
what happened to the good days where you had to Google somebody's parent? Oh, who is their parent?
Yeah, I don't want to know who your parents are. I don't even want to I just want to watch you play basketball or watch whatever. I don't want to know your parents. If you have a political stance or whatever, all right, I might listen to that. But I ain't trying to get into your personal life and all of that, and your baby mamas and daddies and whatever. None of that. Anyway, so let us know how y'all feel about that in the comments. Another situation that's been going on, and it's been a couple of weeks now since this news had dropped, and we kind of moved a little bit past it, but it did spark a whole nother conversation. So we all do know that Shannon Sharpe, on-air personality, has this whole little situation going on with the young lady off of OnlyFans that he was allegedly dating, and is now suing him, saying that there was, some type of assault going on. Now, of course, he's not being prosecuted by the feds. He's being sued by an individual. There's a huge difference. Y'all got to understand the difference and what plays into the difference. Not being prosecuted by the feds, being sued by an individual person. And it sparked conversation online, and it also sparked conversation throughout the world that older men have, quote unquote, no business dating women that are a certain amount of years younger than them. And it's frowned upon, it's looked down upon for a man of a certain age to have a girlfriend or have dealings with a young lady who is less than a certain age. Regardless of if she's an adult legally, it's frowned upon by society. Now, on the flip side of that, women, older women, cougars, quote unquote, rah, 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 like a dungeon dragon. Cougars are applauded. And in some regards, they're looked up to for having younger boyfriends or younger men in their lives. So much to the point that, what's the young lady named Q? Drea? The one who got a baby with Ant-Man.
Somebody who her son age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people look at that and say, well, he grown, he know what he doing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an adult, he gonna have to learn, let him learn the hard way. The energy's not the same, Q. The energy's not the same when it's an older man like a Shannon or like whoever people want to put in that mold of an older man that dates a younger woman. Now, personal preference is, we definitely don't condone nothing illegal here. If you messing with somebody underage, regardless of your sex, you're nasty and it's illegal and you need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I'm going to get that off real quick. But, however, i.e. dash, pause, comma, if all persons in situation are consensual adults, and you look at one situation different than you look at the other one, then where is the double standard coming from? Where's the inconsistency coming from? If it's an older woman, it's okay if she dates a younger man. But if it's an older man, it's not okay if he dates a younger woman. I already know what people gonna say, but Noopsy, she was only 19 when he met her. I get it. And that's disgusting for Shannon if that's how you look at it. If you look at it that way. But what I'm saying is, if you look at that as disgusting, but then turn on the other side, and then you see a 50 to 45-year-old woman with her 20-something-year-old boyfriend, and you say, yo, you go, girl, you doing it. You gotta check. All I'm saying, Q, do you understand? Am I making any sense to anybody out there?
Yeah, exactly. But also this, if you 19, that 19-year-old girl, that's disgusting too.
Let's talk about that.
50-some years old out here selling your vagina.
Let's talk about that. And people would say also, that's nasty. You 19 years old, you on OnlyFans, first of all. As a parent, they're like, well, Noomsy, if you had a daughter, you would look at it in a different way. But you have a son, so you don't see it this way. If I'm a parent of a daughter that's 19 and she got her OnlyFans, then that's where my issue would need to start as a parent. Not over the fact that it's adult men 40 and 50 years old watching her and clicking on her and trying to take her out on dates and all that. That's the least of my worries. My worries is when she decided to create that profile.
Exactly. What did
I feel as a parent?
Exactly. But we never look at it like that.
We don't.
You know, we give a pass to all these girls that be out here selling their body parts for money. Because we allow tricking now. You know what I'm saying? Paying for everything, doing all this. You know what I'm saying? So we allowed that type of game and format to build. Now everything is all about that. So when a rich man come along, he can literally buy your girl from you for at least a night or two. Depending on how much money he got. You know, and then it'll be your fault because you ain't have enough money to outmatch him. You know what I'm saying? So that's your problem. That you ain't out here getting your bread. You know what I'm saying? So that's the world of society.
Real talk. You right. You 100%. And Yanni Ma, shout out to Yanni Ma, fairy plug mother. She in the wrong chat. Yanni, you in a private chat, Yanni. You got to get into the regular. Go to the comments. Which you probably got to do that from YouTube. I don't think you can do it from. You can't do it from here in the studio.
You gotta watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. But nah, you make an excellent point though, Q. And to go further than that, why is I think who was it that had that stand-up comedy show called Misplaced Anger? I think that was Chris Rock. Because I think it's misplaced anger when you are angry at the system that is created rather than angry at your role in the system.
Exactly.
Because it's all a part of the system and you play a role in that system. People have to create these accounts and they create these OnlyFans accounts for some whatever reason. It could be they're not getting something at home or they weren't raised with something at home. It could be that they just want to be curious and see what's out there and they homegirl doing it, or so they want to do it too, or they think it's cool, or they running low on money, they need the cash, they start doing it and they realize how much money they're getting. Now they like it, they're getting attention, they're getting all of it. It could be many reasons why they do it. But if you play a role in that, if you were that parent that neglected your kid or didn't steer them the right way, or you didn't instill certain values in them, then you need to check yourself.
Exactly. Your child started off on the wrong path. And then if you're on the wrong path, you're going to be on the wrong path with people who are doing wrong shit.
Exactly.
So we only wrong and the wrong, the one wrong that we can see and pick a side of the one wrong. Ignore the other wrong. It's like a crackhead calling the laws on the drug dealer.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I like that, Q. Like
you know what I'm saying?
The crackhead calling the police on the drug dealer. That's exactly, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're feeding into it.
Wrong, man, for not giving her enough, for stealing her money back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically. And so the energy that we get,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. And I see a lot of social media from both sides, male and females, that are just coming down with great vengeance on these men. And also, for the most part, men of all races, all creeds, date younger women, date older women. But when the scandal comes, you know which hue gets the more attention. So not just saying that Shannon Sharpe is the only person out there that's dated younger women, but he's going to get all the attention and all the focus because, let's keep it a buck, he's a brother out there that just about to sign another deal. This happens, so boom. Bill Cosby, remember Bill Cosby was about to buy NBC, or he was about to purchase NBC, and what happened right before he purchased NBC?
What about did Morgan Freeman do something crazy?
Marcus Freeman, yeah.
Morgan Freeman, didn't he?
Yeah, the list goes on.
Or something like that.
The list goes on. But nobody talks about the case that Harvey Weinstein has. Nobody talks about, some of these late night talk show hosts that's been on these lists that were allegedly involved. Nobody say nothing about Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's girlfriend is 24 years old. And how old is Bill Belichick, Q? Like what? Give me if you had to guess. How old would you say?
1,060.
He old as hell. I know, but real talk, he got to be.
How old is Ivanka Trump?
Ivanka Trump.
I thought they got a age gap, don't they?
Yeah, there's a huge age gap between Donald Trump and Ivanka. I mean, the list goes on and on with these successful other race people that date way younger than them, but they say absolutely nothing about it. But God forbid Shannon Sharpe date somebody from OnlyFans. He's canceled. His career, he had to step back from ESPN. He ain't doing Club Shay Shay. If you're trying to get a bottle of his cognac, you better get it now.
Yeah, it's gonna be exclusive. Exclusive
to his living room.
and we don't agree. I don't agree personally. If I'm old enough to have a baby your age, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I could have had you. So
and
that's 13 years old, 12, 13. If I'm 12, 13 years older than you, I'm good. I could have had you. You could have been my kid.
And that's fine. And a lot of people a lot of people feel that way. They have a certain age limit that they'll cut off and say, you know what, I don't care what the case is, I'm not going no younger than this. And that's perfect if that's how that person wants to see, but it's got to be across the board. It's got to also be for the other way around too. Like, you know, you can't look at it that way, but then see somebody else and be like, okay, well, it's different because Angela Bassett, you know, because she looked young, she looked good for her age. So it's all right for her to have somebody that's, you know, in they or Madonna and her dude is like 12. Like, no, I'm not gonna say pause that. But her dude is young. He's like 20, like 23, 24. He's a young cat. So I just say the same energy got to be kept across the board. And I just be watching that. And I'm like, all right, me personally, I ain't never date nobody that much of an age gap. Like that's it's insane to me. But I also think it's insane to see these older women that's getting knocked up by young 22-year-old athletes. I think that's disgusting, personally. Like, that's how come ladies don't say, I'm getting pedo vibes when they see that. I don't hear ladies ever say that. I don't hear nobody ever say, oh, she's giving me pedophile vibes. The only thing they say is, oh, she's a gold digger and she trying to get him for his paper. But they never stick her with the same energy that they would stuck a man who was doing it on the other side. So kill the double standards, y'all. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So if you get the bottom of
crazy to be.
Exactly. Real thing, not serious thing, not. Now, yo, we getting through this, yo. Shout out to Yanni, my fairy plug mother. Y'all know what it is. Billionaire, 7-figure society marketing agency. Make sure y'all get at that. Make sure y'all hit that like, share, subscribe. Shout out to top to bottom detailers. But yeah, man, another thing that we won't get into real quick is this story has been kind of brewing. Lately, there was, I think, an executive order that was passed recently that allows teachers to physically defend themselves against students if a student attacks a teacher. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy. Like back in the day when teachers were able to put hands, like if you tried to get froggy. So it's seeming like this new executive order is kind of turning back the page to those days. Because let's keep it a buck though, Q. Like students I seen videos of students jumping teachers. I seen these kids jump the teacher. I saw another story where a student brought a gun to school and threatened the teacher and threatened other students. I've seen students getting out of hand. Go ahead, Q.
I'll say, you remember getting the paddle?
I remember the paddle. I remember that. Once they took the paddle out to school and then everything went crazy. But I remember that paddle.
Yeah. So now you get your ass beat to a teacher. They jumping. They jumping you. Them little niggas is putting their hands on you, boy. And all you could do is sit there and take that little money, bro.
That's it.
And the way the system set up, they only gonna throw them in like a little juvenile stuff, give them with a little warning because they don't really want to never throw away the kids because they're young. But they keep recycling them and letting them do the same stuff over and over, and it just keep happening.
Now, there was a story. This happened a couple years ago, but it came back up once the executive order was passed. There was a teacher in a high school in North Carolina, and a student in that classroom, this little girl, some girl with a short ponytail. I don't know if she had short, I don't remember what kind of hair she had. All I remember is the little girl was using her phone in class. The teacher took the phone from the little girl. The little girl goes up to the teacher, bucks up against the teacher, takes a swing at the teacher, and the teacher swings back and all hell break loose. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all take a look at it right here. Now, as you can see, she knocked
the money out of
coins out of
block the money. Bing, da da, boom, boom.
Now hold on.
Boom.
hold up, Q. Back it up a little. Now, I don't mean to laugh. No, I do mean to laugh because this was a little funny. I don't care. If y'all think me laughing is insensitive, then this show might not be for you. Now, first of all, the teacher had the phone. The student walks over to the teacher and takes a swing. The phone flies out. Now, notice, this is the part I wanted y'all to see. The student grabs the teacher's right arm, like, so she knows enough to let me hold her arm, and now she's swinging with her left. I don't know if she's a lefty or a righty, I don't know, but she's swinging with her left. Now the teacher, she steps up to get more leverage. You see, now she's like, okay, this little girl got some strength to her. So
Yeah.
at this point, she forgets she's a teacher, Q. I think at this point, she don't remember that she's a teacher because this little girl just walked up to you, tried to snatch the phone out your hand, and then swung at you. So now at this point, I ain't a teacher. So scrap down. So there we now hold on. Now the
That
technique
wig fell
by
out.
the young lady, by the little girl on the bottom, as she noticed she's falling backwards. Q, can you bring that back a little? As she knows she's falling, she pulls the teacher's bun and pulls the teacher down along with her. This is excellent technique, ladies and gentlemen. This is textbook, because if you're against someone who's bigger size than you, like this, clearly there's a size difference and an age difference. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this fight to the ground. Now we're both the same size, we're the same height. Now let's see how you get down. But it was a bad decision because she's on her back. The teacher clearly outweighs her, so she leans into her, and from that point, we off to the races.
See, the problem is you want to have enough body weight to roll over a grown adult. See, what the problem is it's a kid versus a grown up.
Right.
So
that's where the issue comes in.
Just let this be a lesson. Grown ups have work strength, and you haven't earned that. You know,
this work strength right here. Now she done got on top of her. At that point, it was like, now hold on. The little girl, clearly she got brothers. Or she's definitely not the only child, because she's fighting toe to toe with this girl. I mean, with this teacher. I'm sorry. Like, she wanted all the smoke. Now the teacher looked like she gave her a chance to back up though, Q.
Yeah, she did. What happened is the girl made the mistake is she telegraphed a punch. She said,
she did.
You see,
she swung back. You know, so that made me feel like she didn't really want to do it. She didn't really want to swing at the teacher, but I think she felt she had to, because now everybody in the class is watching. She took my phone, and now she feel like, okay, now I gotta do something. I gotta pop off. So now she swings, because that swing is horrible, first of all. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever take a swing at somebody and you want to set it off with the first swing, do not swing like that. No, do not put your shoulder into it and then swing forward. You now want to do that type of thing. You get your bum cloth and mash up. You can't do that and expect that you're going to actually win a fight. Secondly, that brings us to this, Q. Was the teacher? Good block. You see that? That's that wax on. That's that wax on, wax off. That's Daniel's son. Wax on, wax off. Let's sand the floor. Let's show me sand the floor. That's sand the floor right there. Or wax on. That's one of the two. But
watch the movie.
So clearly, this right here shows that the teacher is defending herself. Should teachers be allowed to go to the extent of defending themselves to being physically violent back with a student? Apparently, this executive order says that yes, they can now. So though this happened a couple of years ago, something like this might be admissible in a court of law for the teacher to keep her job. How y'all feel in the comments though? As far as parents out there, y'all know back in the day how it was when teachers were able to put hands and give y'all the paddle or the ruler. Remember, you hold your hand out and you get the ruler. It was either the ruler or the paddle or something.
Yeah.
Now, teachers are straight using hands.
Now this is, see, we're gonna blame the teacher, but this is just disrespectful, bro. I said no phone. class. And then I
No
got
phones allowed.
I'm a grown up. This is my class. You come your behind up here and try to get your phone. I said no. Then you trying to grab it out my hand. And I said, no, get your ass on. Now she never once hit her until she kind of nudged her away, like,
Yeah, because at this point she's violating her space. So
exactly. And
the
she on the
teacher
phone
has every right
calling.
Yeah.
She calling the people to come get the girl.
Yeah, because she is. That's why she did do the right thing. She picked up the phone. But the girl had no right walking up to. If the teacher say no phones, then just wait until the class is over. You know how many things I got taken from me in a classroom from a teacher? They done took my Walkman. They done took my headphones. They done took my Game Boy. They done took my, my basketball cards, my baseball cards, my football cards. They done took all my raps. I used to write raps and rhymes in the class. I done had all of that taken. But did I get up and swing on the teacher? Well, who raised these kids, yo? And they gonna say we raised them because
the teacher part. You go and you beat the shit out of the little girl. Come on, man, that's the little kid though.
That is though. I get that part.
Restrain her, hold her down. You know what I'm saying? She going for the UFC KO. Take a look at this shit.
Yeah, she do. She got her down because at this point. But Q, if she let that girl go, who's to say that girl ain't gonna just take off on her? So it's almost like at this point, I gotta keep you.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, I'm trying to justify it. But this don't look good. Now, so what y'all, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments, drop in the comments, what was the teacher supposed to do in this situation? If you're a teacher and you're in this exact situation where you're trying to implement your rules of the classroom and this student just come up at you, try to take the phone and then like literally puts hands on you, what do? Like, so you supposed to just run out of the classroom and go and get security? Like,
run down the hallway, grown ass man.
Don't nobody be thinking about that though while it's happening. Don't nobody be thinking about, while all you just in the moment. You in the moment and like, all right, you know what? It's gonna either be me or this person. So basically, y'all parents, y'all need to parent y'all kids better than this. Y'all don't teach these kids respect. Because if that little girl had respect, she wouldn't have had the gall to even go up to the teacher and try to snatch the phone back. The only reason she did that is probably because her parents enable that stuff. And they know her mama gonna come up there and turn up and go off on the whole school because, nobody better not touch my baby. And my baby said this to my baby. And don't touch my baby, you call me. So when does a teacher have an opportunity to call you, a parent, in the middle of that going on, and your baby, your quote unquote baby, is up there throwing haymakers at the teacher in front of everybody? So y'all parents, y'all gotta hold some of these L's. Y'all gotta hold these L's because these kids is bad as hell. These some badass kids, and somebody raising them.
Yep, the streets raising them.
Y'all, so we gotta have saying that these badass parents. Cause we quick to say these badass kids. But we need to start saying these badass parents. Cause y'all parents, y'all taking L's left and right, man. Yeah. Our parents didn't take these
to them, they gonna be crazy with you. They're gonna be crazy with your ass.
They probably already are.
Yeah. Y'all ain't did a motherfucking thing.
Right. My baby wouldn't do that unless somebody did something to them first. Like that's the first thing they say is, "Oh, my baby wouldn't do that if unless somebody did something to my baby." Y'all parents are horrible. Y'all are trash parents, yo. Ain't no way a student supposed to just feel that confident to walk up to a teacher and take a swing at a teacher. And then when the teacher swing back and knock little Ray or knock little Shaniqua braids out her head and knock her down, now all of a sudden, oh, y'all shouldn't have touched my baby. Man, get your bomba clientele off that here. So, yo, y'all
every teacher need to learn the LeBron class 101. Flop and sue the bricks off their parents, man.
Flop. Nah. So yeah, it's an executive order for those of y'all that's just joining the chat. It is an executive order that just got signed saying that teachers can now physically put their hands on parents if they feel the need to, or if they feel like they're in danger or whatever. So we're gonna see what happened with that though going forward, because that
Man, you know how many men gonna sign up for a teacher, being a teacher now?
I don't know. If you was thinking about being a teacher, this might be the time for you to think twice about it, because now. And then I even heard they was talking about letting teachers have straps and pistols on them, and that's a whole nother thing. When you in Texas, so I think them teachers probably already packing and ain't even telling nobody.
Got a gun in my purse.
That's what the ladies and the men saying.
That it could very well be. It could very well be, man. But yeah. So y'all let us know what y'all think about that story. Like I say, this episode is going to be reran once again back on YouTube, so y'all can go back and check it out, and y'all can comment if y'all ain't get to comment on the live stream. But yeah, this been a wild week. We got the NBA playoffs coming up. We're still going on. We're going into round 2 of the playoffs. We got the NFL draft that just happened. They got a whole lot of stuff going on. So we got a whole lot more topics to cover, and we're going to definitely keep y'all locked in and keep y'all in tune with all of that. We got Saturdays on the Sports Time Zone. We are doing the Underground Artist Spotlight. If y'all know any underground artist that's trying to get their music out there, that wants to get a listen and wants to get us to push their music on the platform, we doing it Saturday, every Saturday around 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So let us know. Send us some music. Hit us on sportstime_zone on Instagram and shoot us some of their music. Shoot us their page. We're trying to show love out here. That's what we're doing. And we're the only sports podcast that's doing that. Hip hop, sports, and current events of the culture. That's what we all about here at the Sports Time Zone. So make sure y'all do that. Hit us up on IG, sportstime_zone. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Yanni Mata, Fairy Plug Mother. Shout out to my co-host TZ Dave. We're going to be back at y'all again with another banger. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, hip hop underground spotlight. Shout. For my man Q the Beat, this is yours truly. Playoff Noomsy in our building. Signing off. Catch y'all on the flip side. We are out.